I'm Barry Shore here at the Renmin University campus in Beijing. I've been here for 2 weeks talking with professionals in project management area as well as working with students at the Renmin Business School and so understanding in even better than I had before the issues and challenges that face China in the coming decade. What's been apparent, and certainly in the last year or two, is that China is not only awash with cash, but has led the world out of a major financial crisis and recession. Loaded with cash, and at a growth rate of 10% estimated for this year, it's quite likely that China will continue to go on a shopping spree, not only in China, where large companies are gobbling up smaller ones, but especially into North America and into Europe. Well, I've had several experiences with mergers and acquisitions over the last several months, and with my discussions here, I've come to the conclusion that one of the challenges of the next decade will be how we integrate the Asian management styles with the styles that the West has not only known for so long, but has basically tried to export over here to Asia. And when you talk to people here, there are many aspects of that management style, leadership style, that really don't work. And my experience with the younger generation here, working with them, these are people that have had up to approximately 5 years business experience, is that this culture, this organizational culture that prevails in the West is very, very difficult to export to the East. Let me give you examples. The Chinese and South Korean organizations that I've worked with, they're more typical of Asian cultures in that they experience within that culture a high power distance and high uncertainty avoidance, so that there is more or less an autocratic management style and a real effort to minimize risk at any cost. This is rather interesting because if you go into organizations in the United States and Europe, you'll find that there's less risk aversion. They're willing to take more risks. And there is significantly less power distance, more egalitarian, more democratic style. So the challenge will be, how do we integrate these two? I've been with companies in Europe where the Asian company has dominated with their management style, has not been willing to engage in open discussions, and as a result, the Europeans feel almost incidental in the effort to bring the merger and acquisition to the second stage. The challenge will be, how do we take Chinese organizations, and we know they're on a buying spree, don't we? And how do we sensitize them to the ways of the West? And how do we take the Western organizations and sensitize them to the ways of the East? I don't think, in my experience with these organizations, I don't think it will work if one dominates the other. There needs to be some new approach to the management process. I think the era in which we export unquestioningly the developments of management and leadership evolving in Europe and United States over the last 50 years and apply it here and expect it to work, or through a merger and acquisition expect that the acquiring company here in China or South Korea will somehow be very sensitive to the management styles that have evolved in Europe and North America. I think that's not going to happen. I think what there has to be is some kind of a meeting of the minds and the evolution of a new integrative style that reflects how both of these cultures can work it out together. It was said that one company to me that was the target of a merger and acquisition, that if one of the Asian companies that bought them out, and they bought them out to buy technology, which they lacked, so it was a vertical integration effort. It was said to me that if they continued on their ways and the Europeans insisted on a more collaborative style discussion, working strong communication, and the Chinese or South Koreans insisted on a more top-down style where there's less discussion, that the acquiring company would only get 60% of what they bought, and they would leave 40% on the table because the difficulty in communicating, the difficulty in understanding the other's organizational style would impede the kinds of synergies that were expected to occur as a result of the merger and acquisition. So I think for all these reasons, the exciting challenges of the next decade, and perhaps even beyond, will be to integrate these. I think it's also very different from the 1980s when the Japanese management styles made such inroads to the United States. I think this time the necessity, not just to adapt the techniques, the TQMs, the just-in-times, the Kanbans into the American way. I think this time, with purchasing from strong Asian countries, there will be more pressure to integrate the management style. So it's leadership, it's management style, organizational culture, and these are the challenges of the next 10 years. This is Barry Shore in Beijing on a beautiful winter day where you can see I don't have my hood up. My hands are not in my mittens to keep me warm. I'm just enjoying the day. Thanks for joining me. Have a nice day.